Hi guys, I was just standing here before pushing the go button on the camera and I just can't believe how many years I've been doing this on YouTube. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Marie and I primarily do hauls and Dollar Tree hauls, but when I get into this portion of the year, I come alive. I love holiday decorating and that's what I do as well on this channel. So we're gonna be kicking off fall 2025. So I'm very excited to have you guys in my home and I'm gonna share with you how I'm gonna be decorating. I did take a poll on Instagram and here on YouTube and I asked you guys if you wanted one full giant decorating video or if you wanted kind of like room by room, and in both places, both on YouTube and Instagram, you chose that you kind of wanted room by room. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group certain rooms together, but there will be several videos. So get yourself a coffee, we're gonna get cozy. And so here's where I'm at with my decorating for fall of 2025. I have a method to my madness. I use my notes app on my iPhone. I attach photos from inspiration from Pinterest, as well as photos from my own, like Entryway that I've taken years past. That shows me also like the inventory that I have. But I am making some updates this year. So I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through some of those updates. And we're gonna be doing the entryway today. We're gonna be doing my office. And I believe I'm gonna tag the dining room in this video as well, just because there's only like 2 little things that I'm even doing to the dining room. It's not a big space where I decorate. So, but yeah, so anyways, we're gonna get started with the entryway. This is how I decorate. I've always done it this way. I start from the front of the house and I work my way back in terms of decor. That's just, I don't think that that has any like method to the madness. I don't think it makes anything easier per se. I guess in my mind, it's like reading a book, you know? So I'm going just like left to right in a sense. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. And as I mentioned, we're gonna be doing my entryway and I am gonna be making some updates to my entryway. So let's walk through it. Also, the day I'm filming this, it's Loki's 4th birthday. So unfortunately, he's gonna be going to the bed on his birthday. But anyways, it's his birthday. And so last year, I'll throw up a picture of what it looks like last year. I had a wreath up here. I had some fall foliage and some pumpkins. Still kind of maybe going in that route. I actually don't know what's gonna happen down here. I'm gonna find out as I decorate because I did get some new pieces from Hobby Lobby. But I do know that I wanna change out the wreath from last year. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this and then I'm gonna add my command hook. But first we have to clean the space. Every time I decorate seasonally, I use it as an opportunity to sort of deep clean. So instead of the wreath that I had last year, I wanted to go with something that looked a little bit more natural. I think that one was a little too orange. And so I found this on Amazon. I wish I could have found it at Hobby Lobby because it would have been cheaper, but I will link this down below. So this is like a boxwood wreath, but it's got like that fall turning of colors. Before I decide on the bow, I'm gonna go ahead and work on this part since this is another section that I'm changing, and I don't quite have the full vision. So you're just gonna watch me kind of like play with different pieces until I land on what I think will look best. All right, so I needed to use a little bit of hot glue to get the bow to stay right where I wanted. I thought I wanted it up at the top, but I kind of like it at the bottom so I can kind of see more of this going on. And then I just left these to be loose. At first I did kind of like have them hot glued so they wouldn't move, but I just think they look better like this. I did have to add some hot glue to this part just because it's so drapey, which I love. I use this ribbon, it's from Amazon. I have it in red, pink, navy recently for 4th of July, and now orange. I really, really love it. Traditionally in the past, I've never really put anything here and I've kept it pretty simple. And while I've liked it, I have always thought something was missing and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. I have considered multiple options here, like wicker baskets of some sort with maybe like a blanket folded over, just to kind of give more textures and visual effect down here. But I found these pumpkins and I'm gonna actually tuck them over here on this corner, and I thought that this could actually look really cute. So, and I'm putting it on this side so that to balance the fact that I have this wax melt warmer over on this side, and I actually like the visual aspect of not having everything balanced, because I have it balanced here but then a little like off balance, I think somehow balances the whole space. And this is the entryway for 2025. I absolutely love the updates. I feel like it made a much better impact, and I love how it turned out. And I'm wondering if adding some sconces would also help. I think that it probably would. My office has a lot of like packages and things, and I also want to update this rug at some point. Even last year there was a different rug, but rugs are just my kryptonite. I can't ever seem to like land on exactly what I want, but in the meantime, we're gonna get this room cleaned up. I also have a new desk setup from last year. My computer used to sit in that corner, but now it's kind of like blocking. So you're really not gonna see the full effect like you would from last year. Like you would be able to walk in and you would see like the garland that I had on the table from fall. But as you can see, like this really is gonna block it. So I'm not entirely sure how I kind of want to handle this. A big chunky monitor, it is what it is. So I'm gonna try to see what I can do and how I can work with this new layout and make it more fall. And this is the state of my dining room, which also leads into my living room, my kitchen, since it's an open floor plan. And that's another reason why, when it comes to my dining room, I do like how simple I have had it, because I go in pretty hard, you know, off the entryway in my office, and then the media room, which will be its own video, in the kitchen. So the dining room, I do like to keep pretty plain and simple. So I'm just gonna reuse exactly what I had from last year, but we're gonna do the usual, which is give it a good cleanup, and then I'm gonna pull out my pieces from last year and we'll get her nice and clean and refreshed and ready for fall. These I just pulled off of my couch, and you're gonna see them in the living room video, which is gonna be, I don't know what day it's gonna follow, but I'll put it up here when you can expect to see the other rooms, but you're gonna see this in a fall version. I use these for, the red one I use for 4th of July and Christmas, and sometimes Valentine's Day. I bought this fabric from Hobby Lobby. It was in the fabric section. It has like a rough cut. I basically like kind of just fold it at the end so you don't even see it. I did look for it this year because I wanted some more for my other kitchen table, but I couldn't quite find it. So I'm gonna try to look again, but otherwise I did find this at Hobby Lobby. I'm not trying to make this perfect. As a matter of fact, that's exactly the look I'm going for. It's kind of like a little bit messed up, but also somehow tidy. Last year I had some candle holders and orange tapered candles, so I'm gonna do that again this year because I really liked it. And I just wanted to keep the space simple, so I spent $0 to upgrade this space. I can't find my regular taper candles that I used last year. They're probably in another bin. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this pack, but as you can see, they're kind of like an ombre effect. So I think I'm gonna pull for these 4 lighter ones. And that is the dining room, completing the space in all 3 spaces in today's video. So $0 to upgrade my dining room. I think about $53 to upgrade the entryway. And what I did different here was that I added some floral to the end, and I think it made such a crazy difference, but I already had it all on hand. And then I added these pumpkins, which I also had on hand. They've just been sitting in a bin for a while, so it looks so great. So the only upgrade was the wreath and the ribbon. And the office also came to $0 as well. I mean, unless you add candles, which I don't really add candles to the cost because I get it kind of for like the entire house. But otherwise, everything in here remained the same and it looks so cute. I added an extra little pumpkin though to the center, whereas I didn't do that this year. I've considered some wall art, but you know what? I wanted to keep the budget at $0 for this room and it looks really, really great. Maybe next year we'll do some more updates. And my cute September journals have dropped in my Etsy shop, so I'm gonna link it down below for you guys. These are the 2 that I'm gonna have in my office, but I have other covers, so go check them out. And we have finally kicked off fall, autumn in my home. Today, we're going to be decorating 2 additional rooms for fall of 2025 in my home. If you missed the first 3 rooms, there were 3 in the first video, my entryway, my office, and my dining room. So definitely go watch those so that you can kind of see like the decor and how it's gonna also flow into today's spaces, which is going to be the media room and the living room. Obviously, you can tell that I've got some movie posters behind me, so this is my media room, and I'm very excited to be decorating it once again this season. And then, like I said, I'm going to group the living room in this video today as well. And then we're going to be moving into my kitchen and outdoor spaces later on in the week, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that YouTube notifies you when my videos have posted. And if you've been a long-time follower of mine, then you've been watching me cultivate all of these pieces for quite some time because I am primarily a haul channel. But then when we get to this part of the year, I really start implementing a lot of decorating into my channel. It's just something that I thoroughly enjoy and love so much. So I'm really happy to be able to invite you into my home and share it with you and give you any inspiration or tips and tricks into the process. Also, I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed or feel like you have to decorate on any level to how I've been doing it. Like I said, I have been spending quite a few years in building my decor. So I don't want anyone to feel any sort of pressure. This video is just here to serve as a space where you can come watch and get any inspiration. And I also want to say that it does take sometimes years to pull it all together. So just want to throw that out there. But this year I am making some updates, and that's what I'm finding as I've been building this collection and building like even the color palettes that I love. I'm very much a traditional fall color kind of girl. So while a lot of my longtime followers have watched me kind of decorate very similarly throughout the years, this particular year of 2025, I am doing some upgrades here and there. So it's really like my upgrade year, if you will, and I'm showcasing what those upgrades are and how much it actually cost to also marry into my existing decor. Because you know, sometimes your style changes or you kind of like figure out like where you do want to make improvements, because I do set a budget for myself every single year. So my budget was actually very low for this year in terms of like the overall house because I have cultivated already a lot of material. So in the media room, we are gonna make only a couple of changes. One of them being the pillows. When I looked back at this space and I saw what I did last year to this year, I was like, okay, how do I wanna upgrade this space? And I knew that the pillows was exactly where I needed to go. So that's what we're gonna do this year. And we're gonna be switching out my movie posters. If you're new here, I do change out my movie posters for every season, every holiday. What you're seeing behind me is my summer collection. There's also another poster back here, but you can't see it because it's on this wall and it's summer rental, but you are gonna see that later. And unfortunately, I included a last minute upgrade to this space that I was not counting on. But when I realized I was gonna have to take down these frames right here and do my movie posters again, these frames are on their last legs. I've actually been taking a staple gun and stapling like the corners because it's like falling apart. I'm like, okay. And the backs are very difficult. They're like the little tabs and they've been breaking off. And I've used these for a while now, but I think I've reached their use, unfortunately. I wish they would have lasted at least 2 or 3 more years. but they're done. So I did have to make a purchase on Amazon, and so I definitely upgraded to a much better frames. So hopefully those will last me now. I'm hoping for at least 10 years at this point. So we'll see how they do, but I'm gonna be throwing up the total cost. Anyways, as you can see, I still have summer everywhere. And then I've just been kind of like piling stuff on the couches and like decor. We've been buying like, you know, random stuff. So first things first is I always start with a clean slate. I get everything out and then I start to deep clean the space and then I go in to decorate. But the very first thing I do is I put on my favorite fall movies to get me in the mood. You've got mail. And this is exactly what I was talking about. See, and I have stapled the back of that corner many a times. You can't staple in the front because then you're gonna see it, unfortunately. And probably maybe some Gorilla Glue could have helped with that, but new poster frames are incoming and they're actually a black border. I've gone from black to white and now I'm going back to black. So when I was deciding what needed an upgrade, if at all, in this space, because if you watched my first video, I didn't do anything to my dining room and to my office, so the budget came to $0. I made some updates to the entryway, however. And so when I looked back at photos and my videos of this space, as I said, the pillows were really number one. So going back and forth, I have a very orange theme throughout the entire house. And then I found these gorgeous plaid pillow covers. It's actually very soft. I wish you guys could like feel through the screen. But with the black walls, I was like, you know what if I just kind of do something a little different? Because there for a second, I was about to pull the trigger and get the exact same orange pillows that I have in the living room. And I'm like, is that too much? I don't do very well with playing with different patterns and colors. I want everything to sort of like be matchy throughout the entire house. And while I do know I enjoy that, I also on the same hand want to experiment with different patterns. So, and I love a good plaid, so I was like, this will still be safe while keeping this room kind of like unique on its own. So I did get these from Amazon and I got a total of 8, 4 for this couch and then 2 for each oversized chair where Micah and I usually sit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start covering each of the pillows. All right guys, and the media room is done. I think the one clip I didn't get was that I decided to put this blanket right here. I love stars. It kind of like fit with the color theme, and I didn't want to buy new blankets. I actually had it in my like to-do list to just go to Home Goods and grab some blankets, but I was like, no, I already like have some on hand. I'm just not a fan of them like not being the same color, but I was like, you know what? We're gonna keep the budget smaller, so I opted for keeping like mismatched blankets, and these are the ones I've had in the past, so they're super cute. Again, the only thing that I bought this year for this space were these pillow covers and this little guy. I think he was $12.99. So if my price is correct, it's either like more or less by like $1 or $2. So I think I got it kind of on the money. And like I said, I'm not going to count the picture frames just because I didn't purchase them specifically for fall. This is just an all year round. The media room just like gets the movie posters, and it was just happened to be that time where they, you know, needed to be updated. So I just went with these, although I could have saved a little bit more if I would have waited for the Hobby Lobby sale. But I needed this video to go up, so I did just kind of like go with Amazon at the last minute, and they were like $89.99 for the 4-pack. But it could have been a little cheaper, but again, not included in the upgrade cost. But anyways, everything else I've had on hand. You saw a price tag on these on this one, I think, but I've bought so many of these in the past, and sometimes I leave like the tags on it and don't even know it. So just FYI on that. Yeah, all of these things I've had in the years past. So, the pillow covers cost a little bit because they're like $22.99 for a pack of 2, and I needed 4 total packs. But that's it. That is the upgrade and what the media room looks like this year. I think the difference is pretty crazy to me, and it really just turned out to be the pillowcases. So I'll put like a little before and after from last year to this year so that you can kind of like see how the $100 and the upgrade cost, how it kind of gave it a little facelift. So the next area in the house in today's video is going to be my living room. And you're already looking at one little update right here, which is a new rug, and it's actually green. I have never done a rug of this color before, but this is not going to be included in my update total because this wasn't done for fall. The updates really are just for all the things that are fall that come out for this specific time of year and then just go back. But in terms of what my living room looked like last year to this year, there have been some foundational changes, if you will. I call them foundational because they're the pieces that I don't move out for holidays, if that makes sense. So like the furniture, the end tables, things like that. The end tables are also new. You're gonna see them in a second. I used to have black end tables. Actually, last year I had even different end tables. I had like a wood coffee table, and then I now have this white ottoman, which is just currently pushed up against the couch. There's a lot of work that kind of needs to be done in the space. I still have some like leftover 4th of July things here. So yeah, we've got to be putting up these pillow covers. But I did the same thing. I went back and looked at my photos and videos last year to see what I had and where I wanted to make some updates. I think it takes like real talent, in my opinion, or it takes a talented person. You may not know you're talented, but to me, it's a talent where somebody can take different patterns, different textures, different colors, but yet make it all look cohesive. I cannot do that. I am not good at that in the slightest. I can make all the pillows match in a solid one color, and that's as far as my brain can sometimes go. So next year, I am going to be looking at making some pattern, different color options for fall. But for now, when I took a look back, I was like, okay, there's a couple of little things I think I can do to give the space an update. And so we're gonna get this whole room cleaned as per usual. Start with a clean slate, remove these pillow covers, and then I'm gonna just try out my new decor that I got. If it doesn't work, it gets returned. And let's go ahead and get started. My navy pillowcases, I actually use twice a year. Navy for summertime and also navy for Christmas. At least I used these last year. I probably will again this year. And using pillowcases is a much cheaper way to outfit your pillows rather than buying whole pillows, and also easier to clean as well, and saves on storage space so you're not storing a bunch of thick pillows. One of my favorite things to do in my living room, and I do this pretty much all year long, you just didn't happen to see me pull it up because I already removed it prior to this video, but I love a plaid blanket laying flat on the seat of these chairs. So I've had these for a few years. I'm gonna use them again. However, I just had an idea where when I looked back at this couch, it was pretty white, stark white, and then I had like orange pillows. I'm thinking, what if I do these on there too? So I decided to go ahead and order them. So those are gonna be a new update in the living room. Now this idea to do the plaid just came to me as I was filming, and I just so happened to have another one here that I ordered from Amazon. But originally when I ordered this, I had the idea to put this in my back patio. I have one in my office, which if you watched that first Decorate With Me, you saw that I put it over my chair. And then I have the two here, and this is my newest one this year for 2025. However, I just ordered one, and I think for this year, I'll just forego putting this in the patio, and then maybe next year I'll buy another one. This is about $25 on Amazon. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one on this seat and then one on the next seat. I just thought it would look nicer if they looked a little bit separate, where you can still kind of see the break in the white. I didn't wanna like drape it all the way across. So we're gonna try it in sections and see how I like it. In the meantime, I'm just gonna borrow the one from my office just so that you guys can kind of get an idea, because this is not gonna come in on time for the video to release on the day I want it to release. So let's go ahead and now do the couch. What I also love about this trick is that if you own a dog, but you also want white furniture like I do, it helps to kind of keep the white furniture a little bit better covered. And then these can just easily go, into the wash. All right, so I'm done decorating in the living room, and there was pretty much everything remained the same. So I kept my fireplace the same decor, the same setup, and I did look into kind of switching it up. I thought about bringing more in of like the fall leaves and this look up here. Then I was like, you know what, no, this works for me. I really like it, and I decided to keep it. And the same goes for this area. I kept it all the same. I even pulled out the glass so that these smaller pumpkins could kind of like sit up higher, or else they just get buried beneath it. An upgrade I did consider was putting these topiaries away and bringing something in with more of like that fall foliage. But as much orange as I'm doing, I was like, you know what, this really kind of helps to break up. And I didn't want my house to look too AI, if you will. So, I mean, maybe another season, but for 2025, I'm glad I kept it as is. I could add like little orange bows to those if I wanted to, but I decided not to do that either. And I didn't want to also over bow everything. I'm not too much of a bow girly, but I do love them on the wreaths. I do have to kind of in a tricky way keep the camera pointed down because I've also been simultaneously working on my kitchen, and I can't show you guys that reveal quite yet. Now this is where the biggest transformation actually happened, and it was the couch. The couch truly did it. Having the different furniture as well, like changing my foundational pieces. So I have this ottoman here now this year, and I have those end tables, and then just adding like the pumpkins on the table too, just gives it a nice cozy little pop, adds a little something over there. I don't think I put anything on my end tables in 2024. So I think the little pumpkins over there just gives it the perfect little touch. And then I had this extra pumpkin, so I decided to put it right here in the center. Obviously it's a plastic pumpkin, so usually what I do is I push this up to the couch, and then I just kind of like lay on it like a lounge, and then I'll just like put the pumpkin aside. So not a big deal. It's just me and Micah living here, so it's not too far-fetched and unrealistic or unfunctional for us to like have decor set up like this, but probably having little kids around, that might not be functional. You could just like lay a blanket over, but doing these on the couch I think sealed the deal. And also having a pillow to break up the orange, whereas I didn't have that last year, like this truly made the entire space so different. Now you're also noticing that I have a different rug. That's Loki's new toy for his birthday, but I have a new rug this year, and she's green and beautiful, and I do think that it also obviously gives a little facelift to the area, gives it a little bit more color, and also green just goes so well with fall too. So I really like that. And this area right here also remained the exact same. As a matter of fact, I had to switch out the pumpkins, excuse me, I hit the tripod. I had to switch out the pumpkins from up there because I specifically painted these that go on this table because you can see it from the back. And so I just had to paint them, or else it just looked like unfinished and really bad. So that was a project I did last year, but otherwise this whole area remained the same. And that means that my only fall update was the 2 extra plaid blankets and the pillow from Kirkland's. So I'll add the total here for the updates to the living room. And that is my Decorate With Me Fall of 2025, completing the living room and the media room. So if you're new here, I've done my entryway, my office, my formal dining room, and now these 2 spaces today. Come back, we're gonna finish the rest of my house. We're gonna do my kitchen nook, which you're all already getting a peek of it right there, and the kitchen, which has the biggest transformation in my opinion from last year. And you guys are just going to, I hope you're gonna love what I did. Very, very nostalgic. So if you're a 90s girl, you're gonna love what I did to the kitchen.
Tim, the fact that in less than 9 days, Summer Argent Pretty will be over forever, is kind of jarring. For endangerment.
I also have this one, which is like one of my favorites, but I'm thinking about keeping it in the coffee. I just made this coffee too, so I need to pull that out. But I'm thinking of keeping it styled here, but it's also more Halloween. I'm thinking about bringing a fall one down and putting the fall one here. So if I do that, there's not room for this one up here, but it's literally one of my favorites. So I'm like, okay, where can she go? Because I feel like it's everywhere here. She go in the center back, that's chunky. Let's do first time fingers. This is cute. This is only so like come here. Oh, you go up here. This is only is this cute right here? Actually, it's here. I think I want to have this and yeah. So I think that's gonna be the setup. And then I think for fall, I'm gonna have this one displayed in the coffee maker. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down because I'm gonna be decorating, but yeah. Upside down. Okay, so I'm thinking I definitely have to that's gotta come back on some. I also gotta think about fall and how this really needs to look. I did a lot of pumpkins, so I know I'm gonna have to like style some pumpkins in here. Like this in theory could stay over here. Okay, I just have to like figure out, but like you're getting kind of the vibes, right? So this will be playing like a cute movie, and I'm gonna plug in this lamp so that I can just also get the vibes from it. I wasn't even recording this whole time, but I stacked these two pumpkins here, which I really like. I started adding some fall foliage here to the corner, just to kind of like block all those wires. I actually think it's looking really cute. Again, I'm going for a nostalgic thing in this corner. So far I actually really like it. I do think it's missing a pop of like greenery. So I don't know, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't think that looks good, so I'm not even gonna mess with that. And obviously for right now, these, I don't think, I feel like it's just way too much. It's way too much. So I'm not vibing with that at all, even like just the black. So these might get put up for the season. I also bought these jams. I thought the jams would be cute, but I don't think there's gonna be room for the jams, so they're just gonna get put up and I'll just actually open them and use them. I like, so on these, like, see, I want to be able to, like, see the side.
The blue is throwing me off.
That is my stepmother's an alien. She doesn't have to make it in the cut, but, like, Weird Science is blue. I need to find You've Got Mail. I don't know where You've Got Mail is.
Is it, like, tripping
Yeah.
me out? It's doing some weird
Yeah.
vibrating thing.
Like, we're not used to it. Okay, I think monsters should go over here. Okay, well, you're gonna get a crack at it. Stop. Stop this nonsense right now.
Like we would.
Wait, I also bought little string lights.
You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything.
I like this purple going on.
Okay, cute. You can also stack on that side too. No, don't do that. Just stack more on that side, make it higher so it's not like too even. And remember, we have other movies that need to go here, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
No, not these.
This is the best purchase.
Good.
It is. This is the best purchase.
Now remember, we gotta add your movies up here too, like Harry Potter, but they're not in here. Where are yours? I think they're in the, I think I know where the tub is. Actually, is it in here?
Over there.
I broke that down, and then I looked at my Amazon, I was like, I got this? My over company, is that all?
Maybe one of these.
Oh my gosh, are these pretty important? Wait, wait, these screws up there. Oh my god, it's so good. Really good right there. And with this, has to be able to open. Think about this. That's cute. And I bought some string lights. Here we go. We'll make this look high beauty, so we see this now. It's more full. So that's really You're that little fucking dog. Remember last week? Wait, it was Wally? No, yeah, Wally. Something in the morning, and I got in these lights from Amazon. So we're gonna add these. Plus, I have these little things from Dollar Tree. Like, these are so cute, actually. They look, Loki's touching the tripod. These look so vintage. I thought, how fun would this be? I know the lighting's low because it's like early in the morning and I haven't turned on any of the lights, but like, how fun are these gonna be? Even though it's like more Halloween, but that's fine. And then we've got these lights. I need to turn on the light. We've got these lights. Like, this one's all orange, so I like this one for now, for fall. But then I can't wait for Halloween because I'm gonna put up these multi-colored lights. And then these are just like all purple. So cute. Okay. I get all of my batteries, by the way, from Amazon. Alright, I gotta be like careful with showing the movie because YouTube will flag it. Loki is playing, but all those lines and everything, that is not what it actually looks like. It is a very clear image, and I can't believe how like I can't believe what a good little TV Micah and I got. I was able to order a remote from Amazon that goes to this model, so that's also even more shocking. That comes later today. The kitchen definitely looks different this year, 2025, from 2024, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I do think that maybe there could be something missing. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe this is just too white, and it would have been fun to add like mini versions of that to the chair, but I do love how this turned out. So in the center, I repurposed this wreath. These were the wreaths that I had up, but these were the new additions. So part of the upgrade this year is gonna be actually two of these. And I got them from Amazon, so they were like 30 bucks. Here's the other one. It's right above Loki's food bowl. And I also bought the ribbon. I don't know how to add the ribbon to the total because, well, I'll just add it to this total. Or did I already add it to the office? Or I mean the entryway. Because if I've already added it, I don't want to add it again, if that makes sense. You get what I'm putting out. So I'm gonna add the 2 wreaths this year to the upgrade count, but this was my wreath from last year. I had no plans to actually like change this area. I was gonna do my pumpkin display how I had it in 2024, but I was just like, you know what? I was searching on Pinterest and I saw something with like a big vase and like minimalist flower sticking up from the top that was like fall, and I was like, that's perfect. So I also repurposed my vase from the entryway. So usually I put it in storage, put it away, and it doesn't come back until after Christmas, but I'm really glad that I kind of got to reuse it. So all of this was free and just repurposed decor. And then I did buy these specifically for this layout, and these are from Amazon. So they're really beautiful. I was gonna go with those. If you didn't watch my living room, I'll link it down below. But I get these from Hobby Lobby, and I was like, let me try not to be too matchy-matchy. So I'm gonna include those as well as part of the cost to upgrade this kitchen. Let's just get to the meat and bones, meat and potatoes. I don't even know what the term is. But also you're seeing a line go across the screen, but it does not actually look like that in person. The picture is crystal clear. It's not doing any of these things. It's just, you know, it's how these TVs come across through cameras, I guess. But this has been my favorite purchase. And I actually did get it just for fall. I wasn't sure about Christmas, but now I've decided that this is gonna actually be up year round. So I'm gonna show you guys the total on what I spent, but I once saw a woman who bought hers from Facebook Marketplace for 40 bucks. And I searched my marketplace, I couldn't find anything close enough to me. So I did get mine from online, so I had to pay a little more plus shipping for it. But it is a DVD combo. I I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted a DVD combo or a VHS combo. So, but in the end, I was like, you know what? We have so many DVDs, we don't use them anymore because of streaming services. So I decided to go the DVD route, and I absolutely love it. But I'm not gonna include this in the total upgrade cost because now it's gonna be part of the entire house for the entire year. So this is not strictly enforced for fall. Then Micah and I put out all of some of our DVDs that we thought would look really cute over here that have that Halloween fall vibe. Although I feel like I could definitely add some more. And then these little guys are from Dollar Tree. This is what I've been talking about when I told you guys, wait till you see where I put these. I just think they honestly give it, the whole thing just comes together so nicely. And without those little guys, I just think it would look a little bit less nostalgic. Something about them just makes this corner so 90s to me. And then these wired leaf lights are from Amazon, and I already have a couple of packets. I couldn't find them, so I did have to order some, so I am going to include those in the cost of the upgrade for this year. And then over here I styled all my usual things. I pulled out extra pumpkins I already had and my fall foliage. So none of those things cost any money. Let's go ahead and press play. All right, so while that's going, I also decided to leave, you know what's her face. I was gonna put her away because this is where I usually like watch Lucy and stuff in the morning. If you follow my vlog channel, then you know. But I was like, actually, how cute would it be to leave it and to like run fall ambiance on it, like a fireplace. So I love this little feature, and I think like next to the TV, it makes it extra cozy in my opinion. Over on this side now, I feel like I could have used a nice something here, a picture, but I did decide to put my picture over on this side. But comment and let me know what you guys think about this area. Right above is the wreath, but otherwise there's really like nothing going on in the center this year. So it is part of the upgrade total. This is from Hobby Lobby, and I love the barn because I have barns all throughout the house. So if you look above my fireplace, barn, and I just really love it. So I thought this was gonna fit in absolutely perfect in here. And I have this little like mini cloche. I wanna put like a really cute holiday-ish cupcake. And I honestly meant to have it for today's video, but I just forgot. And then over here, I stacked my oranges and my apples. I thought those looked very fall, or at least the apples look very fall. And I was gonna put like a fall plant in here, but I just could not find what I wanted. But in the end, I'm glad I kept a little green, because then that green would have been like weird. You know, it would have just stood out. And then I do have like other greens, you know, throughout the house. So I thought it was fine to just like keep it here and keep it balanced. And then the toaster. This is probably Micah's favorite thing. She thought this was the cutest thing I've ever done. And I honestly had no idea what I was gonna do with this little mini canvas that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I did buy it this year. So it is part of the upgrade total. I honestly thought I was gonna like layer it with that photo, and then I don't know what caused me to like put it above the toaster, like the toaster has its own little picture, but we love this here. And it's so cute. And then I had to just get some extra ribbon, which I had on hand. And then I bought one of those little like clear command hooks, and that's it. Called it a day, and I think it looks really cute. Over on this side, this is where I have some Dollar Tree goodies. Also left some greenery over here, and these are from Dollar Tree. So I went back and forth, as you saw, what I wanted to use, but in the end, I just liked the look of these better. The smaller pumpkins just weren't quite doing it for me, and all I ended up doing was taping them to the base. That's it, no big deal. As you can see, they're staying pretty well because the candles are keeping them down. And my candles are from Amazon, by the way. And then I always have a mug that sits here for just the look. I think it like adds a little something. And so I went with this mug, which I did buy this year from Amazon. So this will be part of the upgrade total. And so will those, because those I did buy this year. And let's go right here. So as you saw, I switched out my little piece. It was the blue star for 4th of July. And then, so I bought it for the whole year. So that isn't included in the price of the upgrade. And I bought it a while back during summertime. And I can't wait to switch it out for Christmas. And then I did decide I wanted to switch out this green with fall foliage. So I did pick up the stem from Hobby Lobby this year. So this will also be included in the price. I wanted something that the flowers were gonna look exactly like the wreath, and it is exactly the wreath, just in a stem version, but it's literally the same thing. And I honestly didn't realize it till just now. Like when I was in Hobby Lobby, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like my wreath. I didn't know that it was a direct match until this literal moment. But you can see also why I kept my dining room so neutral, because there's just a lot going on over here. But let's look at the mugs, because the mugs, this is the best set of mugs, or like, I don't know, I think I've cultivated something really, really special, and I'm very proud of this collection. And I just love the display as well. My members got to see this setup, so if you want to become part of my membership and get exclusive videos, the sign up is down below. There's 2 different tiers you can choose from, but I am very picky about where I place them, and so it's not just like I throw them up there. I have to like move them around until the colors and everything aligns just the way that I want to. I have like Joanna Parker here. I have more Joanna Parker right there, and then some random. Those are like Ray Dunn, and then those are my Lang mugs, and I love Lang. And then I also have cookie jars and teapots and salt and pepper shakers. So this was the first year I incorporated salt and pepper shakers in here, and I just think it makes it look even more whimsical, and I love it. And my members got to buy all of my mugs that weren't part of this collection this year. So that's another member perk, is that you get to know what I'm kind of selling on Etsy before anybody else. And I think my members did sell me out. There might be a couple of mugs left. If you want to go check it out, I'll link my Etsy shop down below. But I did get rid of some mugs this year, and I had to be, you know, I had to put in thought on like what I wanted to keep, what I didn't want to keep, because I literally have no more room for fall mugs. So like if I were to, let's say, go to Home Goods or TJ Maxx today and I found one I absolutely love, something would have to leave from here, because I don't have another spot for it. Now this first row right here is my favorite row. The candy corn, this one is Joanna Parker. Another favorite, Obsessed. This is actually from Temu. This little like bow, it's just perfect, and I love it. I love how that white balances out that white. But yeah, this is like, I have to keep my favorites where I can reach them. But that is, yeah, I am for sure mug crazy. Then when we get over here, you can see that I have the backyard done as well. I don't know if I threw it into this video or not. I know I filmed myself. I bought extra pillows long before this, although I'm gonna include the cost of those orange pillow covers in today's video, because those are for fall, but the green are for year round, so those don't count. And then the plaid pillows I already had on hand from last year from Hobby Lobby, so those don't count. And the pumpkins I also had in a bin. So that's what the outside looks like right now. And then over here in my little kitchen nook, this is another area that got upgraded. The back over here looks the same. I did the same layout from last year, so none of those things are new. It's the same like garland, so that, you know, everything kind of looks cohesive together. And The garland, both of those are from Hobby Lobby, and then the felt pumpkins are getting harder to find, but I got them from like TJ Maxx and Home Goods years past. Over here, so what's new is this runner. So this runner is part of the upgrade cost. These napkins and these little pumpkins, and then the burlap chargers, or this, not charger, this is the charger. The burlap mat is new. The charger and the plates are not new. Now, however, I only have 2 place settings with the plates. I didn't realize that I don't have a set of 4. So either I can't find them, or I don't know where they are, or maybe I only bought 2 because there for a while I was only buying 2 place settings, one for me, one for Micah. So maybe that's what I did. If you happen to, this is a bizarre request, but if you happen to remember that haul, because this had to have been years ago, and if you know if I hauled 4, let me know. I know that's a weird thing, but let me know, because then that'll really make me dig through my stuff. But anyways, I do have plans to look at like Home Goods or TJ Maxx so that I can see if I can find some new place settings for the 4 set, because I'm obviously now going to have Thanksgiving at my house. My mom and stepdad moved here, so now it makes sense to have a set of 4. And I kept the centerpiece the same. This is what it looked like last year. It just had this with nothing else on the table, but I think the runner and the plates just adds a cozy, homey charm to do like a tablescape. So you'd have to go watch 2024 back to like see the visual difference. But truly adding those plates somehow made the house feel like a home, rather than just having that piece sitting here without like the plates, you know? And then that dining room doesn't have any plates set up. So that's why I decided to go ahead and do the tablescape here. And I really do think it adds charm to it. And of course, I had to pull out some type of plaid, which I bought again this year from Hobby Lobby, and the little napkin holder pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. They also have orange pumpkins, but I knew that I wanted to do white. So stay tuned. Maybe when I do my fall house tour, I'm gonna have updated plates over here. I also considered doing like fall wall art. I thought that would be really fun. I don't want to change all my wall art, but I thought this one could be really pretty, but didn't throw that into the budget this year. And then I thought maybe I could do like a bow around that light. But I don't know, let me know, because I feel like there needs to be something orange up on top, but I don't have anything. But other than that, that is my kitchen nook, and that basically completes the house with besides my bedroom. And I'm going to be posting that for my members, and then you guys will get to see the bedroom when I do the full house tour. So that is my kitchen and kitchen nook this year. I hope you guys enjoyed and got any inspiration, and I will see you next time.